Okay, so let's unpack this. Today we are looking at something that honestly defies the laws of emotional physics.
It really does.
Usually when we do a deep dive, we're looking at, a book or maybe a scientific paper where there is a clear logic, like A leads to B.
Right.
But today, we're looking at a transcript from a reality show called Love for Survival.
Specifically season 6, episode 10.
Yeah, exactly. And before you roll your eyes at this and say, reality TV, really, you need to understand what we are actually dealing with here.
Because it's not just reality TV, it is a behavioral experiment.
Totally.
I was reading through the source material, this transcript of a couple named Stanislav and Ksenia, and I found myself having to literally physically step away from my desk.
It's that intense.
It is a case study in human absurdity.
It really is. And for you listeners who maybe haven't seen the show or know the premise, let me set the scene. This isn't one of those shows where people just sit around drinking champagne in a hot tub, talking about their astrological signs.
No, definitely not.
This is a stress test. That's the entire premise. They take couples who are already on the rocks, people who probably should have broken up like 3 years ago, and they drop them into extreme environments.
In this specific case, a literal swamp?
Right, a literal swamp, to torture them psychologically and physically. And the idea is if you survive the mud and the mind games, you win money. And maybe you decide to actually get married.
Which is an incredibly fascinating premise all by itself.
Right.
It posits this idea that suffering creates value. Like, if we suffer together, our relationship must be worth something, right?
Like we earned this misery.
Exactly. But what we're going to look at today is the specific dynamic of Stanislav and Ksenia. The theme here isn't just, a bad romance.
No, it's way deeper than that.
It is the profound absurdity of toxicity. It's about why people stay in situations that are just objectively miserable.
It's the paradox of the volunteer victim. Like, why do we actively sign up for our own unhappiness?
That's the core question we have to keep asking ourselves today.
So let's introduce the lab rats. The subject of today's deep dive. We have Stanislav. He is 35 years old. And his bio says he is a hypnotherapist and a businessman.
Which is a combination that already raises an eyebrow.
Just a bit.
Hypnotherapy implies this deep desire to control the mind. And business implies a focus on transactional value.
Right.
And as we see right away in the transcript, Stanislav is incredibly dominant, financially controlling and emotionally, let's call it selectively detached.
Selectively detached is a very polite way of putting it.
I try.
And then we have Ksenia. She's 24. So we have an 11-year age gap right off the bat.
Important context.
Very. And she is currently unemployed. Or rather, she works for Stanislav. She is his employee.
And that's a crucial detail to keep in mind. The power dynamic here is completely vertical.
Yep.
He is the boss, the provider, the older partner. She is the subordinate, the dependent, the younger partner.
And here is the kicker to start us off, the origin story. Ksenia wasn't just some girl he met at a coffee shop.
No, she was not.
She was his mistress. She was the other woman while Stanislav was married to his first wife.
And that right there sets the stage for everything that follows. When a relationship begins in secrecy and betrayal, the foundation is already cracked.
Because the trust is already compromised.
Exactly. There is an inherent lack of trust because both parties know exactly what the other is capable of. They know the other person can lie.
Right, because they lied together.
Precisely. But before we even really get into those deeper trust issues, we have to talk about the Nadia issue.
Oh man, the Nadia issue.
This was on page 1 of the transcript, and I genuinely thought I was reading a typo.
I really wish it was a typo. It would make me feel so much better about humanity. So Stanislav's ex-wife, the one he cheated on with Ksenia, her name is Nadia.
Right.
Ksenia's name is Ksenia. But Stanislav refuses to call her Ksenia.
He calls her Nadia.
He calls his current girlfriend by his ex-wife's name.
It is mind-boggling.
And he doesn't just do it accidentally. Sometimes people slip up like, oh, sorry, wrong name habit. No. He explicitly says it is convenient.
Convenient?
I'm quoting here. He says, Nadia is automatically in my head. The decoration changed, but the name remains.
The decoration changed.
He calls her Nadia 2.0. He says she has a serial number.
Let's stop here for a second because this is psychologically massive.
Please explain this to me.
This isn't just laziness or habit. This is active depersonalization. By refusing to use her name, he is actively stripping Ksenia of her individual identity.
Wow.
He is telling her, you are not a person with a history and a soul, you are a role. You are the occupant of the position of partner. And that position is permanently titled Nadia.
It's like he's running a software update. Installing Nadia 2.0, please wait.
That's a great analogy, actually, because software doesn't have feelings.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Or really sad, honestly. Ksenia's reaction to this.
Right.
She doesn't walk out. She says she hates it. She says it hurts her, but she accepts it. She answers to it.
Yes, she does.
Why? Why would anyone agree to that?
It's the absurdity of compliance. In her mind, she is in a direct competition with the ghost of the first Nadia. Oh, I see.
By accepting the name, she is trying to prove she is better than the original. Or at least worthy of holding the title.
Like she's trying to win a rigged game.
Exactly. She thinks if she plays the role well enough, eventually she will earn her own name back.
But that's not how it works.
Not with someone like Stanislav. The more she complies, the less he respects her. Because she's showing him her boundaries mean nothing.
It sets this horrible precedent that his convenience matters more than her fundamental identity.
Absolutely.
If you can't even get your own name right in a relationship, what else are you giving up?
Everything. You are giving up your entire sense of self.
Which brings us perfectly to the bedrock of their relationship, the wallet dynamic.
Ah, yes, the walking wallet.
We mentioned the age gap and the fact that she works for him. But Stanislav has this obsession with money that frankly borders on a pathology.
It is the absolute core lens through which he views the world.
He calls himself a walking wallet. That is his own self-perception. But here he creates a complete paradox. He uses his money to control her. He constantly lists the gifts. The fur coat, the Tiffany ring, the 28.5-gram gold bracelet.
He actually cites the exact weight of the gold.
He cites the weight. And he cites specific dollar amounts. He says, I spent $7,500 on her needs last month.
$7,500 a month. Okay, I am going to play devil's advocate here for just a second.
Go for it.
If I am a guy and I am dropping over $7,000 a month on a girl who used to be my mistress, and she's 24 and I'm 35, do I have a right to be a little paranoid?
Sure.
Like, is it totally unreasonable for him to think, hey, maybe she's just here for the cash?
That is exactly the question Stanislav wants you to ask.
Okay.
And sure, on the absolute surface, it's a valid fear, but you have to look closer at the dynamic he set up. He creates the dependence.
How so?
He employs her. He forces her to rely on his income. He buys the lavish gifts instead of offering genuine emotional intimacy.
Right.
He actively constructs a cage made of gold, and then he has the audacity to get angry at her for sitting inside it.
Oh, wow. So he is setting a trap.
Exactly. It's a massive self-fulfilling prophecy. He literally calls it his springboard theory.
The springboard theory.
He believes she is just using him as a springboard to get resources, to fix her teeth, get better clothes, upgrade her lifestyle.
And then what?
And then jump to a younger, hotter guy once she's fully upgraded.
Because she's 24.
Right. And because he deeply believes this, he treats her like a bad investment risk. He treats her with constant suspicion.
He literally says in the transcript that he prepares for the worst scenario to avoid pain.
Yes, and because he treats her like a thief in waiting, she feels totally unloved.
Obviously.
So what does she do? She cries. She asks for reassurance.
But what does she ask for when she wants reassurance?
Well, often she asks for things that validate her status, because that is the only language he has taught her how to speak.
Right. If love equals money, then proving love means spending money.
It's a feedback loop from hell. He says, you only want my money. She says, no, I want you. He says, prove it. She stays.
And then he says, well, you're only staying because I bought you a fur coat.
There is zero way for her to win. The game is rigged.
There is this one moment where she is crying and she's just begging for some kind of emotional connection. And his response is so cold.
What did he say?
He says, stop crying. Money allows for love.
That line is chilling.
That line stuck with me for days. Money allows for love.
It's like he thinks love is a premium subscription service.
That's exactly how he sees it.
Like, as long as the payment clears, why are you complaining about the service quality?
It is transactional analysis gone completely wrong. He believes that because he provides the capital, the money, she must automatically provide the labor.
And the labor is what? Obedience?
Obedience, emotional stability, lack of complaining. When she cries, he views it as a literal breach of contract.
I paid for a happy girlfriend. Why is this unit malfunctioning?
Exactly. Why is my Nadia 2.0 glitching right now?
Speaking of labor and units malfunctioning, we have to get to the visual metaphor of this entire deep dive. Section 2, the swamp and the wallet. The producers of this reality show honestly deserve an Emmy for this costume choice alone. It is so perfectly on the nose, it physically hurts.
So the first challenge is set in a swamp. It is muddy, it smells like manure, There's just slime everywhere.
Vile conditions.
The goal is to find these hidden coins in the filth so they can buy keys.
She is diving into muddy water. She is sifting through literal manure. She is breaking her nails, ruining her hair, completely covered in slime and awful smells.
And what is a walking wallet doing while she does this?
He is standing dry on the bank, barking orders at her.
Just managing.
Dig there. Go deeper. Check that pile over there. He is entirely directing her labor.
The irony is blinding. The man who claims he carries this relationship financially is rendered completely physically helpless without her labor.
He is literally a dead weight.
But he doesn't see it that way, does he?
Of course not. When she finally finds a coin after digging through filth, he says things like, "Good job, we found it." He takes full credit for the management of the task.
That is infuriating.
But when she struggles, or when she starts crying, because, let's be honest, she is wading through actual sewage.
Anyone would cry.
Right, but he just gets annoyed.
He dismisses her emotions completely. He treats her tears as an operational inefficiency.
It all goes right back to the objectification we talked about.
The depersonalization.
Yes. If you view yourself as a wallet, an object, you naturally view your partner as a tool.
Just a shovel.
A shovel doesn't get to cry, a shovel just digs.
Wow.
If the shovel complains, you get frustrated with the shovel, you don't comfort it, you just want it to work faster.
That makes so much sense of his coldness. There is a deeper layer here, too, about how they handle conflict in general.
Yes, the conflict resolution style.
Ksenia mentions that whenever they fight in real life outside the show, Stanislav has a very specific move. She calls it the suitcase maneuver.
Yes, the ultimate exit strategy.
He packs a bag, or he tells her to pack her bag. He constantly threatens to end the relationship over every argument. He literally says, "Game over."
This is a textbook control tactic. It's known as triangulation with the exit.
Triangulation with the exit. What does that mean exactly?
It means he introduces the constant possibility of abandonment into every single minor conflict.
You can't even argue about the dishes.
Exactly. It forcefully shifts the focus from the actual issue, like, say, Ksenia saying you hurt my feelings, to the fundamental security of the bond.
So instead of addressing her feelings, she's suddenly panicking like, are we breaking up right now?
Exactly.
And Ksenia admits in the transcript that this totally works on her. She says, I feel the conflicts are manufactured, so I have to beg him to stay.
That is a profound moment of insight for her to make, even if she doesn't actively act on it. She sees the matrix.
She knows he's doing it on purpose.
She realizes he actively needs her to beg.
But why? Why does he need that?
Because when she is on her knees pleading for him not to leave, he finally feels safe.
Safe from what?
Safe from his own paranoia. He thinks, okay, she is desperate right now. That means she is not leaving me for a younger guy today.
Oh my God. Her anxiety is his validation.
It is absolute emotional vampirism. He feeds on her distress to regulate his own insecurity.
That is so twisted.
Precisely.
Okay.
And in the swamp challenge, we see this exact dynamic play out physically. She suffers, he watches.
And as long as she is suffering for him, like finding coins for his team, he is perfectly satisfied.
He loves it.
But the control isn't just about money and swamps and manufactured arguments. It's about her actual future.
Which brings us to section 3.
The business of love. This part really highlighted the dream-crushing aspect of toxic relationships.
This was during the pop-up spa challenge. But right before they start that, they sit down and have a serious conversation about Ksenia's career goals.
Because Ksenia actually has a dream. She isn't just sitting around wanting to be a kept woman.
Right, she wants to open a cosmetology business. You know, ejections, facials, beauty treatments.
Which is a massive, booming industry. It's a very solid business plan for a 24-year-old.
A rational, supportive partner would say, great, let's look at the numbers, let's write a business plan.
Well, what does Stanislav say?
He completely shuts it down. He mocks it.
He says, it is a 15-year perspective with zero guarantee of success.
And instead of supporting her, he forces her to just keep working in his business.
And what is his incredibly lucrative, visionary business?
Selling ginseng roots online.
Selling ginseng roots.
Ginseng roots.
Now, again, I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Maybe he is just being ultra pragmatic. Like his business is making money right now. It pays the bills. Maybe he is just trying to save her from the statistical likelihood of failing as a new entrepreneur.
That is the classic benevolent dictator argument. The whole, I know what's best for you, so just listen to me routine.
Right.
But you have to look at the actual outcome of that arrangement. If she works for him, he controls her income.
True.
He controls her daily schedule. He controls her professional
It
environment.
is total oversight.
Yes. But if she opens her own business and actually succeeds, she becomes financially independent.
And if she is financially independent, she suddenly doesn't need the walking wallet anymore.
Bingo. If she has her own money, his absolute primary source of leverage evaporates overnight.
Wow.
He is not protecting her from failure. He is aggressively protecting himself from her independence.
He needs her to be the dumb minor.
Yes, so he can play the smart savior.
And that entire dynamic of, I can do what I want, but you have to do what I say, absolutely explodes during the actual massage test.
Oh, the double standard here was not even slightly subtle.
So the challenge is they have to run this pop-up spa and get positive reviews from clients. A female client named Victoria comes in.
And Stanislav immediately lights up. It is like he switches personalities entirely.
He goes into full bachelor mode.
He starts openly flirting. He takes her out to the pool area. He starts literally directing a sensual photo shoot for this client.
He's saying things like, arch your back, chest up, look at me.
And he makes Ksenia take the photos.
Can you even imagine that? You are standing there holding the smartphone while your boyfriend tells another woman in a bikini to arch her back for him.
It is designed to humiliate her. And when Ksenia understandably gets jealous, which by the way is the only sane reaction to that ridiculous scenario, he gaslights her.
He totally gaslights her.
He says, I'm just doing the job, Ksenia. We need a good review.
He completely frames his obvious flirting as a professional necessity.
But then, of course, the tables turn.
A male client arrives, and Ksenia has to massage him.
And she is entirely professional about it. She is just rubbing his shoulders.
The guy is enjoying it, sure, but he is not being inappropriate, and Ksenia isn't flirting.
But Stanislav absolutely loses his mind.
He physically strikes her.
He slaps her on the buttocks, hard, on camera.
And tells her to slow down. He hits her.
It is a primal dominance display. He is physically marking his territory.
He's telling the other man, this is mine, back off.
Yes, and he is punishing Ksenia for doing exactly what he just did 5 minutes ago, but she wasn't even flirting.
It's the ultimate rule of open for me, but closed for you.
It is what psychologists call projective jealousy.
Projective jealousy. Break that down.
Stanislav knows exactly what he was thinking when he touched the female client. He knows he was aroused. He knows he was crossing a line.
Right.
So he automatically assumes Ksenia must be thinking and feeling the exact same illicit things with the male client.
He projects his own guilt and lack of boundaries onto her innocent actions. And naturally, Ksenia breaks down. She refuses to continue the challenge. They lose the money for that task.
And Stanislav immediately blames her for the failure.
He says she lacks emotional control.
He takes absolutely zero responsibility for physically assaulting her or provoking the entire situation. In his mind, she is just that faulty machine again.
God, it is so frustrating to read. You just want to reach right through the transcript and shake her and yell, run, Ksenia. Just run.
I felt the exact same way.
But we are only halfway through this horror show.
Yeah.
We have to talk about section 4. Yeah. The shibari test.
This was a very, very dark segment of the transcript, and we should probably explain what shibari is for listeners who might not be familiar with it.
Yeah, please do.
So shibari is an ancient Japanese art form of rope bondage. In a healthy, consensual context, it's really about trust, surrender, and aesthetic beauty.
It's supposed to be an intimate exchange, right?
Yes. The person being tied willingly gives up control, trusting the rigor to keep them entirely safe.
But here, on Love for Survival,
here it is completely weaponized. The show uses it as a literal torture device.
Stanislav is tied up in these ropes. And every time Ksenia gets a question wrong about their relationship history, the ropes are painfully tightened.
He is visibly in pain. And while he is immobilized like this, he has to publicly apologize to her for past sins in their relationship.
It's this incredibly forced vulnerability. But the things he actually apologizes for, they reveal the absolute daily verbal abuse she just lives with.
He apologizes for calling her a dumb minor.
The dumb minor.
But notice exactly how he words the apology. He says, I called you that because you were young, but you've proven you weren't stupid.
That is a total non-apology.
It's awful.
It's like saying, I'm sorry I called you dumb, even though you were acting dumb.
Exactly. He also apologizes for constantly telling her she was not on his level and that she was just a barista when they first met.
Which is just pure classism.
He deeply needs to constantly remind her that he rescued her from a life of serving coffee.
It's all about maintaining that vertical power dynamic.
Always.
But the revelation during this shibari test that really stopped me dead in my tracks was about their sex life. or rather, the lack thereof.
This is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Ksenia reveals they very rarely have sex.
She says maybe once a week.
Or less.
And she wants it 2 to 3 times a week. She is 24. She has a high drive. She clearly wants physical intimacy with her partner.
And Stanislav admits exactly why they don't. He watches porn daily.
Every single day.
And his reasoning for this, he says it's faster.
Faster than foreplay with my wife. That's his exact quote.
Let's really unpack that. Faster. It is an efficiency argument.
It creates a severe dynamic that we call intimacy anorexia.
Intimacy anorexia.
Yes. He is actively starving her of emotional and physical connection while simultaneously gorging himself on a digital substitute.
But why? I don't get it. He spends thousands and thousands of dollars on furs and diamonds to keep her around.
Right.
Why won't he spend 20 minutes to be intimate with her? Because true intimacy requires vulnerability. It requires reciprocity. You have to actually care about the other person's pleasure and be present.
And porn requires none of that.
Porn requires absolutely nothing. It is a one-way transaction. He gets his physical release and he goes right back to work.
So it's safe for him.
Extremely safe. Stanislav prefers the screen because the screen doesn't ask, "Do you love me?" The screen doesn't have needs.
And creates this devastating insecurity in Ksenia. She thinks she is the problem.
Of course she does.
She thinks she's not beautiful enough. She thinks if I get these lip injections, maybe he will finally want me.
But it has absolutely nothing to do with her physical looks.
No. It has to do with his fundamental inability to connect with a human being.
He wants the social status of having a hot young wife on his arm. He does not want the actual work of being a supportive husband.
He also apologizes during this rope test for the other woman incident.
Ah, yes, Marina.
He admits to driving a woman named Marina to the train station and then explicitly lying about it to Ksenia.
And his excuse for doing it. He says he found Marina interesting.
Interesting. That is barely disguised code for a potential replacement.
He was definitely window shopping, just checking the market value of his options.
Which perfectly sets up the absolute peak of absurdity in this entire show. Section 5, the lie detector.
If you thought the phone wallet costume was bad, this is infinitely worse.
This is where the mask just falls off completely, so the show separates them.
They put them in staged scenarios with hidden cameras and paid actors to test their fidelity.
First, they test Ksenia. She is sitting alone at a cafe. A very handsome actor named Arthur approaches her.
He's charming, he's polite, he buys her a lemonade, he even gives her flowers.
And Ksenia is perfectly polite back. She smiles, she says thank you for the compliment, but she shuts it down completely.
She says, "I have a boyfriend, I can't do this." She refuses any physical contact.
She essentially passes the test with flying colors.
But Stanislav is watching this footage on a monitor in another room, and he is fuming?
He is furiously angry.
He's mad that she even accepted the free lemonade.
He says, and this is a direct quote, "If I feed her, she should know who the owner is."
Who the owner is?
He literally uses ownership language, like she's a piece of livestock or a pet.
It implies that his financial support supposedly buys her total social isolation.
She isn't allowed to even smile politely at another human man because that smile legally belongs to the man who paid for her dinner last night.
It is profound, terrifying possessiveness.
But then
Yeah.
we see his test.
Yes.
And this, I honestly have no words for this part.
Stanislav goes in for a supposedly normal massage. The actress Anya starts playfully flirting with him.
And Stanislav doesn't just awkwardly flirt back, he hits the gas pedal.
He accelerates immediately.
He undresses right away, he takes his shorts off, even though he easily could have kept them on for a standard massage.
And he actively erases Ksenia in a heartbeat. He tells the masseuse his relationship status is complicated. He heavily implies he is single and available.
He says to her, "Maybe I'll leave with you."
And then it gets highly physical.
He allows the masseuse to kiss his neck. He allows her to kiss his ear multiple times.
He actually admits later on the lie detector that he actively wanted to be aroused in that moment.
He is cheating.
Yeah.
On camera, fully knowing that Ksenia will eventually see this footage.
And when he's finally confronted, when they are sitting together at the lie detector and Ksenia is watching this exact footage just weeping beside him,
He shrugs. He literally just shrugs his shoulders.
he shows zero remorse.
He says, "Well, I am a man. The temptation was there."
Using basic biology as a cheap excuse for absolute betrayal.
But then he drops the ultimate bomb, the green light theory.
This is hands down the most important part of the entire transcript.
Read it for the listeners. What exactly does he say?
He says on the lie detector, "I know she will never leave me. If I did it 10 times, she would stay. I have a green light.
That is just sociopathic.
It is the absolute dictionary definition of calculated toxicity.
He isn't cheating because of some momentary accident or a crime of passion.
No, he is cheating because he has done a cold, hard risk assessment.
He has crunched the emotional numbers.
Exactly. He has calculated that her self-esteem is so deeply broken and her financial dependence is so incredibly high that the perceived cost of leaving him is higher than the cost of staying and being publicly humiliated.
So therefore, he believes he has a permanent green light to do whatever he wants to her.
He is weaponizing her loyalty and her fear against her.
He's basically saying, because you love me, I can hurt you.
It's even worse than that. He's saying, because you are fundamentally weak, I can continuously exploit you.
And the lie detector results just confirm all of this.
They do.
He openly admits that knowing he is hurting Ksenia's feelings does not stop him from wanting other women.
He admits he actually uses her tears to check if she is still under control.
He likes the tears.
Because when she cries, he knows the trauma bond is still active.
Wow.
If she ever stopped crying, he would start to worry that she was becoming emotionally indifferent. He actively feeds on the misery because that misery proves her attachment to him.
So we finally get to the finale of the show, Section 6, the resolution.
The climax of the absurdity.
Ksenia has now seen the footage of him kissing another woman. She has heard him clearly state he has a green light to cheat. She knows he prefers porn to her. She knows he thinks he literally owns her like a pet.
Any rational outside observer is just screaming at the television screen at this point.
Just leave him. Walk away. Take a bus home.
Just get out.
But they win the game. They survive the swamp and the tests.
They get the prize money, which is 50,000 UAH.
Which is really not a life-changing amount of money by any stretch, but they win. And then Stanislav reaches into his pocket.
Of a final, absolute manipulation.
He pulls out a ring.
A diamond.
Being Stanislav, he absolutely has to mention out loud that it is a certified stone.
Of course he does. He has to clarify the market asset value of the proposal.
It's not a romantic symbol of infinite love. It's a literal transfer of equity.
He proposes. He says surviving this project proved he wants her as his wife. And this is the ultimate moment of truth. Class is standing right there. She has all the empirical evidence she could ever possibly need to know her future with him will be profoundly miserable.
And what does she do?
She wipes her tears.
And she says yes.
She says yes.
She actually says yes.
She says Nadia is a treasure.
Oh my goodness.
She completely accepts the fake name. She accepted the shiny ring. She accepts the toxic life.
Why? Why, expert, help me understand the psychology here. Why on earth does she say yes after all of that?
It is the sunk cost fallacy, operating on a massive life-altering scale.
Because she's already put in 4 years.
Exactly. She has invested 4 years of her youth. She has endured the intense social shame of being the mistress. She has endured the actual physical mud and the constant verbal insults.
So to walk away now.
To leave now would be to admit to herself that all of that immense suffering was for absolutely nothing.
So instead of cutting her losses, she just doubles down.
She thinks the diamond ring finally validates the years of suffering. She thinks, see, it was all worth it. I won the game. I got the certified stone.
She tragically mistakes the prize for the relationship.
She really does.
It is genuinely heartbreaking. The episode just ends with them hugging. He has officially secured his possession. She has officially secured her financial status. And the toxic cycle is permanently locked in.
Stanislav was 100% right. His sociopathic green light theory was completely correct.
He humiliated her on national television, and she still said yes.
He now knows with absolute scientific certainty that there is almost nothing he can do that will ever make her leave him. He has achieved total control.
It's a psychological tragedy disguised as a reality TV romance.
It truly is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it leaves us with a really heavy, uncomfortable question.
It does.
We easily look at Ksenia and we judge her. We sit here and say, how could you possibly stay?
But the reality is this exact dynamic is everywhere in society.
Maybe not with the ridiculous foam wallet costumes, but the core dynamic of staying in a miserable situation simply because you feel you've already paid so much into it.
The biggest takeaway for me is really about transparency.
What do you mean?
Stanislav was brutally honest. He explicitly told her, I am a wallet. He told her, I will cheat on you. He told her, I do not respect your boundaries.
He quite literally gave her the warning manual for his own terrible behavior.
He did. He didn't hide who he was at all.
So the provocative thought I want to leave you with today is this.
Let's hear it.
If someone tells you exactly who they are, if they blatantly show you the red flags, wave them right in your face, and openly say, I have a green light to hurt you, and you still decide to stay?
Are you still just a victim?
Or are you a volunteer in your own suffering?
That is the question that genuinely haunts me after reading this. At what exact point does the lock on the cage become something we actively hold onto from the inside?
On that rather cheerful note, like if you are listening to this right now and you feel a little sick to your stomach, that is a good thing.
It means your emotional immune system against toxicity is actually working properly.
Exactly. Use this story as a mirror for your own life. If you ever see a Stanislav coming your way, just run.
Do not wait for the certified ring.
Just run. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive today. We will see you next time, hopefully with a topic that is a little less swampy.
Take care, everyone.